It's much better in the dark. The traffic thinning and the car whistling along the smooth road. Much of our life is spent in the car. It's become a place of sanctuary, of reflection. Each passing street light discovers my hands, white against the black wheel. The dashboard floats like an object from a dream. It glows and hovers in the stale air. The speedometer needle wobbling around 75. The thermometer is steady in the middle as the sprawl of shops and houses fall away. It seems I have no body, just a brain with electrodes wired to brakes, oil, wipers and wheels. At that moment it feels like I have no future, no miles behind or before me, nothing to look forward to and nothing to regret, not to be ashamed of. Then the street light flashes and I'm myself again, driving back in the middle of the night to where it all started. We grieve for our past selves and for what we could have been, or what we might have been. Memory is all, the brain an album whose prints blur with time but contain what we consider ourselves to be. What remains in the memory needs to fill our sense of self. Yet some things can't be forgotten, even if we choose to forget. Just to have been part of it is astonishing to me. Only now does it fit itself together with the knowledge that every act, however insignificant at the time, has its purpose. Every book read, every film watched, every argument or disagreement fills its purpose. It's a grand plan driven by instinct. We carry the past with us every second of our lives. The photo on the screen appeared each day, early evening around 6:30. It didn't look like her. It must be a mistake. She wasn't dead. It was impossible. Some things blaze and blossom for a while and retreat, but don't die. Like a plant that blooms over and over. Some plants, however, bloom just once, if at all. Nothing more happens. They live, but they have had their story. Everyone has a story. If you keep it to yourself, it dies and comes back to haunt you. It was a time of spirit and rambling conversations, of mysticism and transformation. We would talk about possession, being possessed with the spirits of the past. She believed she was haunted, and she dreamt about falling down steps, stairs, or off a high building. She never, of course, reached the bottom. Something arrested that fall. Did she jump or was she pushed? Or was she attempting to fly? The answers are quite clear to her now. Madeline and I go through the heavy wooden gate, looking for a sign. Madeline held a large selection of flowers: gladioli, carnations, chrysanthemums, roses, and orchids. The place had changed. The scale of it had changed. It was oddly askew. The grass below us is brightly illuminated, but the sky itself is utterly black, with no apparent source of light. While we walk beneath the stones, the flowers begin to fall from Madeline's arms, and with each loss she begins to change. Her grey suit begins to tear and stain, while her features change into the face I love. She continues to walk ahead of me, the flowers scattering in her wake, representing portions of a life unlived. Then the ringing begins, as if someone or something is being choked to death. It seems to come from inside and radiate out. I remember us going to an old abandoned house one winter day. The owners had left for whatever reason. Furniture, clothes, bedding, all abandoned. The roof had collapsed. We looked up and we saw snow descending through the attic to the upstairs bedroom. It's also possible we never did any such thing. It may have been a film or a picture or a dream that I'm remembering. There's a purity to friendship not found with lovers. With lovers, we edit. We cut out what we don't wish to see and add what we wish to be there. And so we build a lie. True friends have no need of that. They need to be as honest and pure as possible. We spoke the truth through our eyes. Words often sounded cheap and contrived. Then it happens. I know it. A message saying so merely confirms news some secret pulse has already received. I look up at our faces in the clouds and begin to fall backwards in a spiral. Vertigo overwhelms me as I clutch at objects to address my falling. Broken promises, neglect, indifference, fears, laughter, joy, all come apart in my hands. Yesterday afternoon, a friend of mine disappeared. I'm not sure what can be said about it. She was 17. No one who knew her will ever forget her. Nothing she ever did was ordinary. It was a summer that never rained. Dust coated everything. The last time I saw her, she wore a lemon-coloured party dress over torn jeans, sandals, and a white bandana. She held out a cheap little lighter as the flame pulsed up. Her eyes then fixed me with alarming intensity. like they had witnessed a terrible incident. They locked wide open, an astonished, shocked look. "We have this one opportunity," they said. "Don't fuck up." I fucked up. Sometimes I think if she'd known how I felt. Why are there some you can't ever tell? Maybe it would have been different. She turned away that last time, and if she cried, there was no sound. Nature creates patterns in the clouds, in tree trunks, in the way light hits water, pictures in a fire that show us a time or a place. I've seen her reflected through glass, heard her in the wind and felt her hold me up as I fell. The film we saw was Vertigo with Kim Novak and James Stewart and directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Then again, it wasn't. Not for me, anyway. The film for me was centered on the figure of Madeline, who we believe was possessed by the spirit of a Carlotta Valdez. Kim Novak being perfect for being a blank canvas to project upon. I had begun to take events on screen, paper and stage and review them for my own life experience. Madeline was and would forever be the person here beside me. The actions on the screen perfectly mirrored in her life and subsequent death. She has remained inviolate and here.